This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Good evening, I'm Mark Mullins, bringing you the news from my home tonight.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. We start with breaking news. We have just learned IMPD's highest-ranking members were involved in a pursuit on the northwest side. A large crowd has been at the intersection of Michigan Road and 62nd Street for several hours after the man involved in that pursuit was later shot and killed by an officer. Police have not confirmed whether a Facebook Live video viewed and shared thousands of times shows the shooting as it happened. But RTV6's Cameron Riddle just learned new information from police. He joins us live. Cameron, what can you tell us?
Well, good evening. Right now, there is still high emotion and literal unrest in the streets of Indianapolis tonight. Down that way, you can see in the dark, against the lights of police cars, are what is left of a very large crowd that assembled over a number of hours here tonight, just south of 62nd and Michigan Road. Right now, chants at police officers who are on the other side of their cars, some of them in riot gear with helmets and armed, but they have not crossed over that line. Right now, they're speaking over the loudspeaker, one of the first times we've heard them speak over the loudspeaker tonight. This is all because of what appears to have happened on a Facebook Live video, which police tonight have now acknowledged, saying that they know that there is some connection to a Facebook Live video where the person in that video appears to be running from police, at which point he gets out of the car and tells people watching him that he is at 62nd and Michigan Road. That's how people knew exactly where to go and meet police at this scene that has been here since 6 o'clock. As we told you at the top of the show, we have now learned in the past 20 minutes that the highest ranking members of the police force were the two people who first spotted the suspect driving erratically on I-65 near 30th Street. The two people who saw them were first IMPD Deputy Chief Kendall Adams, who was driving on 65. Immediately in another car behind him was IMPD Chief Randall Taylor. They both started a brief pursuit trying to catch up with the person driving that car who they said was driving erratically. Almost hit another number of cars. But as they got to 56th Street and Lafayette Road, the suspect got off of the interstate and they shut their lights off and discontinued that pursuit. From there, they just tailed him, kept track of where he was going at what they call a reasonable speed. Another police officer from the Northwest District spotted that car pull into the back of a business here at 62nd and Michigan. That's the piece of video which we are not showing you here tonight because there are still a lot of unanswered questions, but it has gone viral. It shows, appears to show the person in the car get out of the car. There is some confrontation with police officers, at which point a number of loud noises, which appear to be shots, were fired, and then the video falls to the ground. You don't hear anything from the suspect after that. We did ask police about that video. This is what they told us and what it has to do with this crime scene tonight.
We were made aware that there was a video that was posted on Facebook. Although the officers and the detectives have done their due diligence in preserving that evidence through proper legal channels, and if it's associated, there's information on it that's appropriate for the investigation, no utilize it.
Tonight, we have learned that the officer involved in this, the officer that fired his weapon, is a black male. Police tell us the suspect is also a black male. What police tell us is they say, to the best of their knowledge, as they are getting this preliminary information right now, is that the suspect fired a shot at the police officers. Police officers returned fire. They say somewhere in there, they did not confirm where, but they said the officer's taser was also deployed. They couldn't give us exactly how that rundown went, but they said shots were fired from both a black male suspect and a black male officer, as well as a taser fired by that same black male officer. Again, want to point out that the two officers, Chief Taylor and Deputy Chief Adams, are not the officers who fired their weapons, but they are the officers who first spotted the suspect. Back out here live, you can see the protesters upset Indianapolis residents yelling at the police officers with bullhorns. This crowd we're seeing right now is significantly smaller. In the last 20 minutes, it has dispersed, but at one time, there were at least 100 people here chanting at police, who again are now in riot gear and for the most part have not moved. Again, there are a lot of unanswered questions in this story, but we are working to figure out exactly all of the dots and connect them for you. As you can see, this is a story that is not going to go away, because as the people out here in the middle of Michigan Road tonight have said, they want justice, they want answers, they want transparency. Reporting live tonight, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6. Amanda, back to you.
Cameron, thank you. You can tell there's a lot of moving parts with this. We will stay on top of this developing story. Thank you again, Cameron.
Now to the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic. A widespread testing plan for COVID-19 launched today across Indiana. 20 sites are now open, including locations in Columbus, Danville, Elwood, Johnson County, Lafayette, and Muncie. Now the state says an additional 30 sites will be announced by next week. The testing is free. State officials say if you have coronavirus symptoms or have been in close contact with someone who has tested positive for the virus, you'll be eligible to get tested. You can register at lhi.care/COVID testing. We have a link to that site on our website, theindychannel.com. According to the latest information from the health department, more than 120,000 people have been tested for COVID-19 in Indiana. Nearly 22,000 people have tested positive. 1,264 deaths are blamed on the virus.
And while hospitals around the state mourn the loss of patients to COVID-19, healthcare workers are also taking time to celebrate signs of hope. IU Health Methodist erupted in applause this afternoon as a coronavirus patient left the hospital. James Seekey was admitted to Methodist in critical condition on April 24th. As he headed home today, the 64-year-old waved and pumped his fist as hundreds of people cheered him on. One registered nurse calls the COVID-19 pandemic the biggest undertaking of her lifetime.
For the nurses on our unit, it is an incredible source of pride because it was learning an entire new patient population, and to be able to be a part of this celebration today was joyful. There were a lot of tears, along with laughter, smiling, but also just incredible happiness and joy.
Seekey's recovery marks a major milestone for Methodist. He is the 300th COVID-19 patient to discharge from the hospital.
Great to see there. Marion County and Indianapolis leaders are reminding residents the county's stay-at-home order is still in effect. Local restrictions are in place until at least May 15th. Today, Mayor Joe Hogsett clarified that includes places of worship. Marion County has by far the most COVID-19 cases in the state. Top health officials say following social distancing guidelines can be the difference between life and death.
If we do not let science and health data guide our decision-making, any glimpse of reopening will not be permanent, and our community members will suffer. So we are pleading with everyone in every corner of our city to treat this virus with the seriousness it deserves.
Marion County officials hope to have a timeline to reopen early next week.
Daycares across Indiana have not been required to shut down during the coronavirus pandemic, but now some that closed voluntarily are preparing to open their doors again. RTV6's Troy Washington shows you what child care services are doing to make the transition easy for parents and kids.
When Keisha Davis decided to open her doors again here at the Reach to Teach daycare, she knew she'd have to do some things different to accommodate the times and make parents feel more comfortable during the pandemic.
We've been open since Monday, so this is our first week back open. We still have a lot of parents that still kind of cautious about bringing their kids back.
She's got signs posted about the daycare's new procedures in place due to the pandemic. She's created a sanitation station for parents at the door and says she's constantly wiping down high touch points like doorknobs and baby gates.
We are not to capacity yet, which is a good thing because we can still practice social distancing with the bigger kids and with the infants, like the infants stay in the back.
On top of that, children are washing their hands with soap and water every 30 minutes.
When the kids go home, I sanitize this whole thing, all the toys.
For the most part, though, Davis says parents are more relieved than anything to know child care service is available again and their children are in careful hands.
We had one parent even lose her job because we had to close. One parent called every week, are you guys going to open? When are you guys going to open?
And now those parents without any options won't have to fret as they go back to work and the state starts the process of operating with less restrictions. Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
And when many daycares closed, the city of Indianapolis partnered with the YMCA to offer child care for children of first responders and healthcare workers.
RTV6 is sharing resources to help you rebound from the coronavirus pandemic. Tonight, we held a Rebound Indiana virtual town hall in partnership with the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. We spent nearly an hour answering your legal questions about everything from domestic violence to stimulus checks to evictions and foreclosures. A lot of you also asked about unemployment benefits.
The best thing that you can do if you're not sure if you might be eligible for unemployment, file a claim, because you have nothing to lose. If you file a claim and you're denied, there's no penalty, there's no kind of repercussions for that, you're just denied. But if you're eligible for benefits, the only way that you'll get those benefits is if you file.
We know the financial impact of the coronavirus pandemic has been massive on our community. The Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic offers services throughout the week. Talk to an attorney is every Tuesday, and Talk to an immigration attorney is every Thursday, both at 5 p.m. Despite these tough times, the community has raised thousands of dollars in days to save a central Indiana chocolate shop. Next, why the business is so important for people in need of a safe space. Kevin.
After a cold start in the morning, we'll need sunshine, and we'll get it. We'll talk about the warmest day of the week tomorrow and the big change for Friday coming up.
800-CALL-KEN right now.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
It's just very humbling and overwhelming.
The owners of a Muncie chocolate shop are getting a big boost from the community to make it to the other side of the coronavirus pandemic. And it's not just because of their sweet treats. Queer Chocolatier has become a Muncie staple. In the few years it has been open, and like a lot of businesses, the pandemic had the owners thinking they may have to close. RTV6's Cornelius Hawker shows you why that's no longer the case.
At the beginning of this week, Morgan Roddy was scrambling, trying to figure out how to keep the Queer Chocolatier open, the business she and her wife Sherry own.
I really need to come up with like an emergency plan. I need to, find out how am I going to make my rent? Do I need to find a job to pay the rent because I don't have the business to pay the rent?
She never imagined the note she wrote about the hard decisions she was facing would lead to thousands of dollars being donated to keep the place open.
1 minute, I'm crying because I think the business is about to be done, and I'm still about ready to cry, but for a good reason, right?
But if it was left up to her, this might not have happened.
It's kind of hard to be a business and ask for fundraising. It just doesn't feel quite right in some ways.
That's when a regular customer of theirs got involved.
Daniel reached out and he was just like, I want to do my best to help support your business.
No, it's something I definitely never expected. When I started, I know that Queer Chocolatier meant a lot to me and to my friends. So I knew it would get some sort of attention, but I never expected in less than 24 hours to raise as much as we did.
The GoFundMe Daniel Todd started has raised more than $9,000 in just 2 days, and that number keeps on going up.
But it's not just the chocolate that's making people want to donate to this business. Queer Chocolatier is a space for LGBTQ plus folks that doesn't serve alcohol. So that means people of all ages are able to come there and thrive and have a community.
So having queer sober spaces is something that's super important, and really where we live, the Queer Chocolatier is one of those only spaces.
They should be able to still access a community where they are authentically themselves, without having to wait to turn 21 to be into a gay bar.
Thanks to the outpouring of support, it's looking like the Queer Chocolatier will be open, serving Muncie and the surrounding communities in more ways than one for quite some time.
It's just like a really great space for people to feel comfortable, get to know each other, get to know me, I get to know them.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
Thank you, Cornelius. And Morgan tells RTV6 with the GoFundMe and online orders coming in, they're right around the $15,000 mark. She's pretty positive they'll be able to get through the next several months.
First responders and other members of the community continue to rally around healthcare workers. This evening, the Sugar Creek Township Fire Department helped organize a procession outside Hancock Regional Hospital. The CEO of the hospital says these shows of support never get old.
It is huge what it does for morale, because we understand that we work with these folks every day, right? We're all in the same business, and that's taking care of our fellow human beings. And the fact that they care for us enough that they would all take their own time, they would come out, drive their vehicles through here to show their support for us is just amazing.
Several local fire departments and police departments participated in this show of support.
Now to the forecast. Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins us now, tracking another sunny day, and it was a pretty sunset tonight, Kevin.
I don't think we can have enough sunny days in a row. I think you'd agree with that. We've got rain Friday, so until then, we'll soak up some sunshine. As she mentioned, beautiful sunset this evening. We'll talk about what that's left us with here overnight in a second. 41 in Crawfordsville, about ready to lead the way into the 30s overnight, the upper 30s. Temperatures down to the south, 50 in Terre Haute, 48 in Bedford. This is why you should step outside and look up. The nearly full moon, hard to tell the difference. Tomorrow night technically is the full flower moon, but I think clouds will be our challenge tomorrow night as they increase ahead of the next rain-making system. 39 in Kokomo tomorrow morning, otherwise right around 40 degrees. Sunshine to the rescue. Sunshine will help boost our temperatures by midday, already to the 60-degree mark. That's at noon, and then temperatures maybe in some cases a little warmer than that, and then middle to upper 60s tomorrow afternoon, with mid to high level clouds increasing through the day. Average high right around 70 degrees. We'll fall short of that, but at least we're making progress. There's your story for Friday, really the first half of Friday, the most likely time for rain. As far as rainfall amounts, looks like we could see 1/3 of an inch to maybe half, especially southern half of the state, as you can see forecast models through mid-morning into early afternoon showing the rain, and then we start to see that clear out. Here are 4 different model estimates of rainfall, 1/3 to maybe half an inch of rain, and that may keep you from mowing the lawn later in the day on Friday, so tomorrow might be the day to do that. Only in the 40s. We stay in the 40s during the day Friday. That sets us up for this. Temperatures in the upper 20s. The record in Indianapolis, 29, set in 1947. Goes back a long way. Temperatures down to the south will all be in the lower 30s and upper 20s as well. As we head into Mother's Day weekend, beyond the frosty and freezing start to Saturday, sunshine and 55 Saturday afternoon. Mother's Day, 40% chance we'll see some afternoon showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, high of 58. Even early next week, temperatures when they start to warm up again are not pegging the meter, so to speak. Upper 50s Tuesday, lower 60s on Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Kevin. A Central Indiana restaurant that first opened in 1928 is still serving up its beloved comfort food during this difficult time. Our Brad Brown visited Hollyhock Hill, where tradition and fried chicken are a recipe for success.
Fried chicken, a piece of food that seems so simple. And yet, to truly get a great piece of fried chicken, one must master a little science, a little art, and a little kitchen magic. Hollyhock Hill has had that formula for more than 90 years.
We didn't know what to expect, but, you know, we had Easter, and Easter was such a success. I mean, we had a line of cars down the driveway and through carryout lane, and my husband had to direct traffic, and, you know, we just brought the team together.
Kelly Haney took over ownership of the restaurant in 2016. Tucked away on Indy's north side, the Vincent family started serving up fried chicken dinners here in 1928. The recipes, especially the chicken,
Otis would say it's the fried chicken,
have remained largely the same. One thing that is not a secret, the chicken gets fried in lard. After all, fat is flavor.
We carry the staple foods, you know, that everybody has grown to love. the mashed potatoes, the green beans, the biscuits, the apple butter, the brownies.
More than just the food, Hollyhock Hill has become a gathering place for Indiana families for 5 generations.
I miss that a lot because, you know, I pretty much hug most of my guests, and I can't hug them anymore.
The buzz of the old dining rooms is absent for now, but folks are driving up in droves and taking all of their old favorites home.
We'll be out there. I'll be out there saying hello to everybody, and we hope. I think we'll have another successful holiday. Nothing like we used to. I mean, it's not 100%, but we do have a great following, and I appreciate all the support.
Hollyhock Hill is located at 8110 North College Avenue. Keep your eyes open if you make the drive up there. It's tucked back off the road just a bit. Kelly and her team have put together a special Mother's Day menu for this weekend. They will have all of their regular carryout available as well. There's more than just the chicken on the menu, but trust me, that fried bird is some of the very best around. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
I'm Dave First with another RTV6 Senior Salute honoring the outgoing spring sport athletes. Tonight, we're going off the beaten path and honoring the Burbuff Ultimate Frisbee team. This isn't your beach game of Frisbee. Hardcore stuff from Rachel Moore, who's a 2-time academic all-star. Logan Williams, who helped lead the indoor champions this year, along with Max Humbert, an under-20 mixed co-champ who plans to play at Cincinnati next season, and Nick Phillips, another 2-time captain who will play Ultimate at Colorado State. Good luck, everyone. I'm Dave First with another RTV6 Senior Salute.
For just $1, only at Hardee's.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
There are now more than 73,000 deaths in the U.S. from COVID-19. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports cases are spiking in certain areas in the same states that are beginning to reopen.
The number of COVID-19 cases rising in at least 19 states, with hotspots now popping up in rural parts of the country, according to FEMA. The highest infection rate in the country now in Tennessee, where cases in the state's largest prison soared from 27 to more than 1,300 in just 10 days. In Illinois, the largest one-day death toll since the pandemic began, recorded just this week. And in Texas, one of 38 states that have now eased restrictions, allowing some businesses to reopen, 1,000 new cases recorded in one day. Other business owners there still waiting for the green light, frustrated. This bar owner arrested for opening early.
I will lose my business. My bartenders are already starving to death. I see my bar owner friends can't even pay for their medical medicines. This is terrible.
A small public school in Montana set to be one of the first in the nation to reopen Thursday, putting precautions in place as they open their doors to students for 16 days before summer break begins.
We have the space, but we also have very small numbers, and that's the only reason we can open.
The virus also having an impact on the nation's meat supply and access to food. One study finding 9 million children under the age of 12 in this country now suffer from food insecurity. As scientists now study mutations in the virus that causes COVID-19 and new human trials begin for potential vaccines, President Trump reversing course on plans to disband the coronavirus task force in the coming weeks.
So we'll be leaving the task force indefinitely.
Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
This together. Enjoy the 60s tomorrow because Friday will only be in the 40s. Amanda?
Thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. GMI starts at 4:30. Good night.